Hello everyone, it's Victor here and welcome to another video. Do you think it's strange that the men's room and the women's room are so different and that there are such different standards and social norms? I think it's especially funny when my cisgender friends I don't know, bring it up or ask about it, or I make some kind of comment and they're like, oh, that seems strange. And it's just like, oh yeah, that's right. This thing is really different and weird. So yeah, this is kind of for my cisgender homies out there. Okay, the first thing that I think is super different is, honestly, the first thing that I notice, I feel like it's the first thing a lot of people notice when they're entering a different gendered bathroom for the first time. The men's room smells so bad. It smells horrible. It smells like pee, honestly. And it's just even the best, cleanest, fanciest men's rooms I have been to, except for the very, very fanciest ones, are fine. They're clean, they're nice, they're well kept. At fancy places where I've been to both the women's room and the men's room, the women's room can be totally fine and really nice, and the men's room can still smell like pee. I don't understand how this happens. People, can we not aim? Anyhow, yeah, the men's room smells really bad. Don't even get me started on gross bathrooms and the difference between men's and women's rooms at gross bathrooms, gas stations. Oh my goodness. So bad. So bad. In general, the women's room is also in my opinion, much cleaner, whereas the men's room just it kind of feels dirtier, it feels stickier and nasty. And so that's definitely a difference. The obvious difference is that the men's room has urinals and the women's room doesn't, but kind of along with that, the men's room has way fewer stalls, which is inconvenient at times, because I have been in men's rooms where there's only one stall and men take forever to poop. I don't know what it is, but they just take forever. So I've been in restrooms where there's only one stall, but I've also been in restrooms where there's 0 stalls, or they had one and it's broken, and that's just really inconvenient and unfortunate. Speaking of stalls, pooping is really different. I feel I spent over 20 years of my life going exclusively into women's bathrooms, and I think I can count on one hand the number of times I noticed a woman pooping in a public bathroom. I can probably count on one hand the number of times I noticed a man pooping in a public bathroom in 1 week. Just, men do not have the reservations about pooping in public that women do, apparently, or at least some men. Along with that, as I mentioned before, for some reason it takes men forever to poop, even in public. People, what are you doing on the toilet? Just contemplating your life for forever? I mean, not gonna lie, I do that too when I'm at home, but in public, come on. Then there's the social etiquette of the restroom. When women go into the restroom and use the restroom, in general, it can be nice and fun and chit-chatty, but then once people go into the stalls and start doing their thing, there's no talking. You just ignore the other person and people pretend no one else is there and no one exists. The walkway from the sink to the stalls, also that's a no talk zone, when you're going back from the stalls to the sinks. But once people are washing their hands at the sink, people tend to talk more. Also, women in women's restrooms tend to just be casually chit-chatty even with people they don't know. I always found that weird because I don't really like to talk to people I don't know, but people would just, I don't know, make comments or say hey, or I don't know, that kind of thing, even when I didn't know them in the women's restroom, whereas that doesn't happen to me so much in the men's room. On the other hand, in the men's room, I feel people are not hesitant to be talking while they're doing their business, which I find really weird because having been socialized where you just don't talk when you're doing your thing, it's kind of weird because people will be standing there peeing and just carrying on the conversation about whatever they were talking about before, which I find really weird. I haven't noticed anyone talking while in a stall unless they're peeing in a stall because the urinals are taken for some reason. So that's the same, I guess, where people just kind of ignore the people in the stalls. I feel in the men's room, there's also less social pressure to engage in some kind of conversation. I felt in the women's room, a lot of times, even if it was a stranger, it would be some kind of casual exchange, whereas in the men's room, it's totally normal to just not make eye contact, to not say anything. But if you know someone, then that's when you're talking. It's kind of, it's weird. Maybe this is just obviously this is just my experience, but I'm curious as to whether it's just me or whether other people have had this weird social experience in bathrooms. Of course, I would be remiss to not mention hand washing when we're talking about the bathroom. In women's rooms, most people tend to wash their hands with soap. And they tend to wash their hands for a reasonable amount of time, like at least 10 seconds bare minimum, more like 20 seconds, 30 seconds for like the overachievers. But for the most part, I have not really seen people leave the women's room without washing their hands unless they were just there to like fluff their hair or something. On the other hand, in the men's room, people don't wash their hands. It is disgusting. Oh my goodness. Why are we not washing our hands? It's to the point where I am no longer surprised when I don't see people washing their hands because, to be honest, probably more people don't wash their hands than do wash their hands. And those that do wash their hands, they do like a little water rinse and then they leave. They don't get soap and scrub for like 10 to 20 to 30 seconds and then rinse again and then leave. No, it's like 2 seconds with their hands under the water and then it's moving on with their day, which honestly is really disgusting. Men, up your game, please. Finally, people in the women's room often tend to like, after they're done washing their hands, do some kind of appearance check. Like, I often notice people like checking their teeth or like fluffing their hair or like doing something related to ensuring their appearance is pristine. Whereas in the men's room, that doesn't really happen like at all. There's not really any hair fixing going on. People just kind of leave. All right, that is all I can think of off the top of my head. But if you've noticed anything else or there's something I forgot, please let me know because I don't know. I think this is kind of fun. It's kind of funny. It's not a serious thing. It's just like oh, this is a weird quirk of like how different groups of people are socialized differently. And I'm sure this varies by location and all of that kind of stuff as well. All right, I hope you have a wonderful day. Until next time.